MMA Boxing Talk here, coming at you with another video. Just want to put a quick video out talking about a little rumor that I heard. Um, this rumor is a fight between Nate Diaz and Eddie Alvarez at 155. Um, this is a fight. Like I said, it's not official, but I think this would be actually a tough fight for Nate Diaz. Um, if Eddie Alvarez is smart enough to wrestle Nate Diaz and try to do what Dos Anjos did to him. I know Eddie Alvarez is not Dos Anjos, but he's a great, he's a solid wrestler. He's strong. Like his win, Eddie Alvarez's win against Anthony Pettis most recently wasn't the most impressive win, but I do believe if he can hold Anthony Pettis up against the cage for long periods of time throughout the fight, I think he can do the same to Nate Diaz. But Nate Diaz is just coming off a win against Michael Johnson, a guy who's a pretty good striker, okay striker, like he's all right, and his wrestling is pretty solid. But he got under almost the spell of Nate Diaz. He was fighting emotionally, trying to take Nate Diaz's head off. Nate Diaz got under his skin basically, and it was very evident. Michael Johnson was loading up on punches and like missing, and Nate Diaz was cracking him with a 1-2, pointing and laughing at his face. But Michael Johnson, if he would have been smarter, stuck to the game plan, unless this game plan was to outstrike Nate Diaz, which is it's tough to outstrike the Diaz brothers on the feet, either one, Nick or Nate. But anyway, I think that if Eddie Alvarez can learn from Michael Johnson's mistakes, which I'm sure he can, he's a smart fighter. He's a good boxer. His wrestling's pretty solid. So he's got to either take Diaz down or just hold him up against the cage and try to land more punches than he did against Pettis. I mean, it wasn't a very impressive performance, but as much as I love Nate Diaz, I do think that Eddie Alvarez has what it takes to beat Nate Diaz. But maybe maybe Eddie Alvarez will just want to box and trade punches with Nate Diaz. In that case, then I favor the fight more to Nate Diaz. But it all depends on how Eddie Alvarez approaches this fight. If he can keep his head straight, if he can, block out all the shit talking Nate Diaz is gonna, do and say to him in the octagon. But anyway, not a bad fight. There's no date. It's just a rumor, but interesting enough fight. That 155-pound division, a lot of solid fighters. I've been saying that for a while. In my opinion, it's the strongest division. Has the most depth anyway. But that's it for this one. Just want to put out a little video talking about a little rumor. Nate Diaz might be facing Eddie Alvarez. Not sure when. Hopefully that'll get made. I think it'd be an alright fight. But that's it for this one. If you like the video, subscribe. MMA Boxing Talk. Peace.